Last week I told you that Donald Trump was obsessed with the idea of a white genocide in South Africa. Well, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa must have missed that episode because he agreed to sit down with Trump today. And guess what the main topic of conversation was?
Death, death, death. And when they killed the white farmer, horrible death, death, death.
If I was a world leader, I'd be very nervous about visiting the Oval Office, but Trump outdid himself this time, ambushing his South African counterpart with a multimedia presentation. The US president even name-checked Australia.
And you take a look at Australia, they're being inundated and we're being inundated with people that want to get out.
Now, Ramaphosa flat out denied allegations of a white genocide in his country, but Trump isn't wrong that South Africans fled to Australia. Back in the 90s, it was so common, in fact, that the University of Queensland eventually did a study titled Packing for Perth. As for what they were fleeing, white South Africans did fear persecution at the start of the post-apartheid era, but they were also fleeing rampant violent crime, which still exists today. Guess how many of those murders were farmers? Just 7. And some of those 7 might have even been black farmers. So while the idea of a white genocide is doubtful, there's no doubt things could always get worse.
Elon is from South Africa. I don't want to get Elon involved.
First they were breaking up, then they were getting back together. But could another breakup be on the cards? No, I'm not talking about Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. I'm talking about David Littleproud and Susan Lee.
I had a brief meeting with Susan Lee. She made an offer to reconvene her party room to discuss the 4 policy areas that the National Party demand as part of a coalition agreement.
Looks very messy from the outside, but hey, there could be some strategy in it. Was David Littleproud holding firm on these 4 policies and trying to force leader Susan Lee to the table? It's worked. I mean, she has to go back to her party and see if they can have some wiggle room around these policies. But in the interim, he has made a concession himself, and that's really where this all kicked off from. He made it sound as if he won the concession by making Susan Lee go back to her party room and have this talk again about these 4 key policies that he says is the reason why he walked away. But what he did on morning TV today was he said that he would fall in line with shadow cabinet solidarity. Now, this cabinet solidarity has been the talking point around this whole breakup. The Nationals are saying that wasn't the issue, but the Liberal Party are saying they didn't have assurances that the Nationals would toe the party line if they did sign up to a coalition agreement.
The flood disaster hitting the New South Wales mid-north coast. It's only set to get worse today as well. Already, thousands of people have been cut off. Hundreds have had to be rescued.
This latest flooding incident has been called a once in 500 years event. It seems as though this region is experiencing this sort of thing much more frequently than that. What's going on?
Yeah, look, I mean, this is obviously there'll be a lot of analysis done in the aftermath of this event. You know, in Lismore in 2022, there was a flood early on at the end of February, and then we had another event towards the end of March. And so people are literally just starting to get things back on track or clean up, and then they get hit again. But more broadly, you know, we're seeing this sort of compounding events where we might have a year or two break and then have another event. Certainly our region's just had Cyclone Alfred, which put everyone on high alert and on edge. But yeah, I think there's a real lack of research still out there in terms of what that means for people's mental health.